It's AJ back. For the record, it is February the 26th, Wednesday, 11:02 a.m. So I did post a video yesterday. My brother and I were basically outside the mosque, in Calgary, Akram Abu Jomaa. I gave my spiel about, basically why we were there and how we ended up being there, made homeless. But, here's another fucking episode. So I'm there, I'm playing my guitar. This is a Muslim community, basically a mosque that was built, upon the donation of the community, the Muslim community, right? Like I said, before you finish the prayer, but donate. So we've been going there for the last 5 times. I gave my, summary as to what happened with the Sheikh al-Akbar, Baba, so to speak, right? The STOOGE Imam. And then yesterday, I'm doing my own thing. My brother is sleeping, as you can tell. He was pretty much knocked out. And this is a man who was doing 12 hours a day worth of work, basically 6 days, sometimes 7 days a week as a painter. He's a very skilled person. Making $7,500 a month, right? Suddenly, after the allegation, he's kicked out of his own, in-laws. Like I said, he's living at his in-laws with his supposedly, ex-wife who, is alleging, pushing the allegation against my brother here. Again, look, I'm not jumping to conclusion here whether it's, but from the pattern, based on my own experience, and from the pattern, based on my brother's experience, based on my other brothers Abdul Hamid's experience, it seems like there's just corruption, man, misleading justice. Suddenly the woman here, she's advancing this argument where, in my brother's case, listen, if he is to be found guilty, he is to be found guilty after due diligence, after the due process of the law. He's got this lawyer who he thinks he's advancing, basically, and defending him. But understand, if you're innocent, you're innocent. Why do you have to plea and basically accept to some bullshit, so to speak, deal, right? Because now the lawyer and the duty counsel, the crime prosecutor are pushing because they want to incarcerate my brother. Basically have the judgment rendered, against him, right? So I tell my brother, listen, the lawyer is in breach of trust. First of all, he is not telling you all the information that you need, because again, they're not obliged to. They are paid just to defend you, but if they need the instruction from you. If you're innocent, you gotta advance your own argument. Now, the lawyer is not basically, entertaining the thoughts or even discussing the fact that my brother is innocent. When I spoke to him over the phone, he was threatening that he would basically, remove himself off the record, so he no longer wishes to be my brother's lawyer. Oh, guess what? Too bad. I don't want you to be my brother's lawyer. But that's me. He probably will tell you that himself if he chooses to. So the idea is this. I'm outside the truck, right? I am now, here's my other brother, Abdul Hamid. Abdul Hamid, say hello. So basically, this is my other third brother, like I told you about. And these two guys, I can't, listen. The guys, Abdul Hamid's been here for 5 years, right here, 5 years. And my brother Ammar has been here, Abdul Hamid is 2 years, and Ammar is 5 years. Balash. So basically, this is what happens, and I'm outside, I'm playing the guitar in the parking lot, and this guy approaches me, he's built up to here or so, and he comes and, he assumes that I'm not Arab, supposedly, I don't speak Arabic, and I'm just, busking my guitar. I've been there for almost 45 minutes, an hour. Not a soul came and told me, oh, you should not play the guitar. So anyway, the guy came, we talked for 15 minutes, I give him, my, short situation summary as to why I'm in Calgary, and how I ended up leaving Ottawa, and why I left Ottawa, I was made fugitive, etc. And I talked about my other two brothers matters before the court, not because I have the consent, because I am in the same house with them. They are in my care, so to speak, right? This is public information. You can go to the courthouse and obtain public record, public information, testimony. There's nothing private, man. It's not like you're going through some underground court system where you are not allowed to basically access information. This is the justice system in Canada. You are allowed, you are within your rights to go and seek information, right? So both of my brothers, their matter is at the basically Calgary Court of Justice, and then you have to understand that's the lower court, municipalities, and then you have Superior Court where you go through the court. Listen, man, I'm not suggesting that the court is conspiring or is complicit, but again, they have the fiduciary duty. The law is a question of facts and evidence, not a question of he said, she said. You got to bring the evidence, you got to bring the facts before the law. And then, you gotta come with your counter evidence, because it's easy to fabricate evidence, right? It's not difficult. I mean, I take a picture of myself bruised up, but you have to prove the fact that somebody else bruised me up. So anyways, this is just how I basically think about root cause, because like I said, I'm an engineer. I have spent over a decade of experience with root cause analysis. That's a customary practice that we engineers have to do. We get a board that doesn't work, chip doesn't work, there's some problem with it, we got a return from the customer. There's an RMA, return material authorization, so we are supposed to go about reproducing the problem first. That's the very first step to do, reproduce the problem. And then, go about and debugging and understanding what just actually happened. And that's a chip level, that's a board level, that's just hardware. Same thing, a lawyer does nothing but actually goes back to the fact and try to build the case, whether to defend you or to push charge or press charges against you. The onus is on basically you to go and basically defend yourself or provide the evidence that will basically get you innocent. And if you believe you are innocent, why are you accepting to basically a deal when the lawyer himself, I'm entrusting the lawyer, I'm telling the lawyer I'm innocent. Why is the lawyer now trying basically to make a deal on my behalf that, we can get you out with basically we're gonna push this argument or advance this argument? Because remember, when you now commit a crime or been assaulted by somebody, and when someone else wants to bring their defense argument, everybody goes to basically, I was crazy at the time, I did not know what I was doing. Bullshit. If you were crazy, you're crazy before and you're crazy after. You don't just suddenly become crazy the minute of the event, the offense. So basically now they're advancing this argument that my brother, and again remember, he had done nothing. He didn't even touch the woman. Long story short. So basically, now you are with the lawyer, and he knows you're innocent. You told me you're innocent, so it's his job. It's his job to defend you to the fullest extent of the law. They got, listen, man, the lawyer has a bunch of cases, and, becomes a practice, it becomes a customary thing. Okay, we got this, it's like a flow chart. You do this, take that, so now they're advancing this argument because they are the defense, right? The defense lawyer is advancing the fact that it's not a fact, it's, he's pushing this argument that, he was crazy. So now he's about to basically, go with basically what they call non-criminally responsible. So NCR, non-criminally responsible. MD, medical diagnosis. So now, for 3 years, my brother had been, kicked out of his in-laws, a year and a half, into the relationship after the bogus allegation. He's kicked out of the house. He's in the shelter, going from, making $7,500 a month, working 6 to 7 days a week, right, as a painter, skilled worker, suddenly to being in the shelter, like with, probably like 500, 600 people capacity on the street, on the ground. Everybody's sleeping on the ground. Shelter, it's on the ground. Amenities, nothing. You shared accommodation, shared washrooms and shit. Hygiene, like forget it. No hygiene, no nothing. People taking drugs. They're on meth, fentanyl, you name it. Hard shit, hard drug, lithium. That you would be served courtesy of the taxpayers' money in jail. You would be incarcerated though. Have you been found with those hard drugs? Like I said, man, look, go research your own laws. So now, because the onus is on the party bringing or advancing the argument that someone is mentally, incapacitated, so-called, or had, some mental, health issues that caused okay, so why house arrest? If you are NCR, you're non-criminally responsible. So why, for 3 years, he's been taking medication? I talked to my brother. He tells me on Friday last week he did not wish to go and take his shot because the injection, whatever the case may be. He did not feel well. He did not want to take it. He's been going for 3 years now. He's like, I don't need it. I don't want it. So he had received a call from his lawyer, and then he's texting him now back and forth because he did not pick up, and then he's texting back and forth, and then I reply based on my brother's factual statement that he wishes not to go, and I just put it in a nice English format because my brother does not speak English. Now the lawyer realized right away that it wasn't him replying back, so he's like, don't get your friends to answer. Listen, brother, he's my brother. Lawyer is none of your business. The guy he's living with me. We're living together. We are in the same basically household. He's in my care. I'm taking care of the guy. So anyways, so he sent me this letter or the response back on the text message, basically threatening that he would be going off the record. I'm like, if he does not go to take his shot, because apparently he had missed his MD report assessment on the 14th of February, which when I asked my brother Ammar, I'm like, so what's up with this date? Did you know? He's like, I didn't know what it was for, I wasn't told. Meanwhile, the lawyer saying that no, we told him that he should go and get his MD because that is what we're relying on, the medical assessment reports, so we can go and seek the basically conditional sentencing, so to speak, house arrest. And I'm like, okay, great. So The report is not made. I go with my brother to the courthouse on Monday, and I speak with the lawyer, and trying to explain to him, because I had told him in the text, listen, there's something called NCR. Then he tells me, oh yeah, that's what we're trying to to do. We're trying to get the NCRMD basically, and your brother or your friend has missed the appointments, and now we're going to the courthouse unprepared. So he had missed a bunch of appointments before, so it's going to be difficult to push. Listen, the guy did not miss anything. He's been going there for 3 years. You have the record. Come on, it's not like the guy is lying. But again, you're advancing this argument that he is mentally, incapacitated or crazy or whatever the case may be. Again, it's on you. But for 3 years, he's been taking shots. He doesn't. How long does he need to be? How long does he need to be on this drugs to be zombied out? The guy now, when I've been living, I met the guy at the mosque, at the community center, and then we're living together for the last 2 weeks. I hear his story, I hear my brother's story, and I have my own story to share. There's a pattern, clear breach of trust. The lawyer is not obliged to tell you things that, because again, they're not obligated to tell you about your natural rights and freedom, because they are going with the secular, civil code, RSC 1985, CC 46. I told you, that's a federal. But again, my brother's out. As far as I'm concerned, he's innocent until proven guilty. And, I'm not sure now if there's, that bogus, because it doesn't matter. Even if the allegation is, rendered and, default judgment has been made against him, it does not matter. It's not because, you're above the law. No, there's a process. You go and you appeal. There's a Superior Court of Justice. You ask for a public trial with the jury, right? Not one schmuck judge. Perhaps he's barred or not, this is similar to the lawyer and the crown prosecutor. Because understand, there's a clear conflict of interest. When you're not paying the lawyer yourself, and the duty counsel, the crown prosecutor is also paid by no other than the same entity, the government, that is pressing the charges against you, allegation against you. Because remember, they took the allegation from the woman. But there are 4 other people, like combined. There's the accused, there's his in-law father, his in-law mother, and then his brother-in-law. It's impossible that you would be in the house where you're living with 4 people, and then suddenly, if you are, supposedly assaulting your so-called ex-wife, it's not plausible that she made no noise, nobody has heard. They're all in the house, man. So anyways, you go and you advance your argument, because at the end of the day, I just need to look at my brothers and ask him, are you innocent? If he's innocent, then it's my job as a lawyer to go and defend his case. The onus is on him to provide such evidence, but the onus is on me as a lawyer to basically seek the right argument and assert the right evidence and assert the right argument. So, all you have to do is plant a reasonable doubt. Because remember, you have to have, without a reasonable doubt, that this guy has committed offense. Otherwise, you are not applying justice, because fundamental justice means that innocent man is set free. A guilty man goes to jail. I'm okay with that, but justice, fundamental, has to be impartial. You have the right for public trial, number 1. You have the right for a fair trial. Under the Constitution, man, go to Section 11. Your legal rights are set out there. So you don't need me, because I'm the man who knows a lot supposedly, but I was made incapacitated in Ottawa. They have to understand this. They have basically incarcerated me without a just cause. The first 2 times I got out on a surety with my mother and my father, like I said, and finally on the 3rd time around, I was reporting suspicious activities, illegal suspicious activities at the mortars, while I was basically preparing my counter affidavit or statement to the Quebec School Board, where they now try to separate me from my child, and they basically had assigned legal counsel to my wife, to my ex-wife. So we had an amicable divorce agreement, and now the school board, because I have basically, threatened to seek and pursue legal action against the school, because I'm going to see my daughter. You have no jurisdiction to separate me from my child as my natural right as a father. So now they know the school is in the wrong. They have nothing on me. They have no jurisdiction. So now they go and they seek they assign legal counsel to my ex-wife. No shit. The school principal, last name is Tremblay. The crown attorney is also Tremblay. Like, no shit. Where did you cook this from? I got all the facts, all the evidence. Again, public inquiry. I'm not against, my wife, going and trying to, but she did not want to sue me. I know that. She did not push or press anything against me, because the amicable agreement stays in place. It's still in place. She just had her restraining order, because again, that was the direction of the ill advice of the, legal counsel that she has been assigned to by no other than the same stooges, because she works for the government of Canada, federal. So, the government of Canada has deep pockets. But guess what? That deep pockets is public tax, public money, public trust. You are breach of trust, clear conflict of interest. Again, so when you go and you argue the facts and the law is on your side, you know that as a natural person, they have no jurisdiction over you. Unless you committed a crime, but you caused no harm, then you are free to go. Bring the evidence. I did nothing wrong. I caused no harm. So why are you now trying to implicate me and, you know, have me incarcerated for the first 2 times with the surety? You know, the 3rd time around there, you know, I'm from December the 4th till the December the 12th. Like I said on the previous, you know, video, the day before my release date, you know, they get this stooge judge. Not because he's young or not, doesn't matter. I explained, you need to be at least pushing 40 years of age. Not because the guy looked younger than me. I'm pushing 40, but I look young, great. But the guy even looked younger than me. But it's not the fact that he looked younger than me and perhaps he stumbled on some, I don't know, a fountain of youth. Yeah, good. But the guy was ignorant of the law himself. He has a fiduciary duty. I'm innocent until proven guilty. So they put me in this kind of like, you know, court number 5 for special, you know, bail hearing, they call it. But they now have me as mentally unfit for trial. Like the Crown prosecutor, she pulls this trick out of a rabbit hat. Like I told you, the first primary ground, right? I had a similar allegation before the court in a different jurisdiction called Quebec. No shit. Charges are dropped. Secondary ground. So somehow this Crown prosecutor, she and he, they push this and advance this argument that I was a public malice, public safety risk. The fuck is wrong with you? I've been here for 25 years. I speak like this because I am angry with the injustice that I have been subject to because of nothing else but prejudice, systemic racism, discrimination, discriminatory bias, defamation. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm a natural person, idiots. Yeah, I speak like this because you're a schmuck. I did aerospace electronics engineering. Last time I checked, you have to apply the logic. There's a reason why you have to be a minimum 40 years of age before you actually go on and become a judge yourself, because you are appointed by a senior judge. You have to have, you know, a criminal law practice experience of more than 10 years. Minimum 10 years plus your degree plus, listen, you're pushing 40 easy. So this is the problem where people are so ignorant of the law themselves, because, you know, in Canada we have civil law, SYRIA, and we have common law, like I explained in the previous video. But then again, common law, it's you know, the common law is the Bible, so that's, you know, it's a Christian country. But again, the country here is secular. There's all walks of life. There's the atheists, you know, non-Christian, non-Muslim. There's the Hindus. There's the Sikhs. There's the Jews. Listen, brother, we in Canada for a reason. The Constitution, you know, protect and safeguards those inalienable natural rights and freedom that you and everybody else has as a natural person. You have the freedom of thought expression and, you know, belief, association. You know, those are like 1, 2. Then, you know, like 6, mobility, 7, life and happiness and pursuit, security and pursuit of life, like livelihood. 8 is, you know, a lawful seizure, like, you know, arbitrarily, you know, again, just go read your Constitution, 1982. But before you go and assert 1982 as the, you know, the supreme law of the land, this is section 52.1, right? Section 52.1, part 7, 1982. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Any law, whether it's provincial or municipal, right? Bylaws, which is a child law, that otherwise, you know, contradicts or goes against the supreme law of the land is null and void. That's right, null and void. So your bogus laws, it's not because they're bogus, it's because you are not applying justice in the proper way. The law is easy and clear to understand. The rule of the law is very easy. Triangle, federal, supreme, provincial, municipal bylaws. When you are spinning wheels in the lower court because, you know, like I said, you know, they're acting in bad faith. Perhaps you don't know. Perhaps you don't know the fuckery that can happen in this, you know, lower courts. You know, it's not difficult, man. It's not difficult. You just need a day. You know, you have the Crown prosecutor in your pocket. You have the defense lawyer in your pocket. You cook the deal. The guy doesn't know much about the law. He's entrusted with the lawyer. Breach of trust. What? Public trust, section 122 of the criminal code. And then there's also breach of trust with, you know, criminal negligence causing bodily harm. Right? The guy is going, man, you don't know what kind of shit he's being subject to. But again, he is liable because he is consenting to the treatment by going there. That means he has the consent. They cannot force him because, listen, when they cannot force him, right, they are liable for anything that has or could happen possible to him. You know, when you go there and you get an injection, perhaps the first time, second time, nothing happened to you because you think nothing happened, but you feel the effect. You're drowsy, you're zombied out for a couple of days, 3 days after the fact. But over the years, long-term effects. And if something happens to you, and if anything, if, you know, you may take the injection or you develop some allergic reaction and perhaps you get a seizure, you die. Who's liable? Who's liable? Not the government this time, not the hospital, not the nurse, because you're going there, you're giving consent, you know, indirectly you're giving consent. You're walking yourself, you're going there. Because you're trusting in the wrong entities to give you the right legal advice. So again, understand, you always have a choice, my friend. Natural choice. Just like everybody else has the innate, natural and innate choice to go about their life and business. Life is a business, man. Life is a business. Do a triangle, up, trust law, bottom triangle, contract law. Contract could not be there without trust. Breach of trust, contract is void. End the story. Not difficult. Alright? So you don't need a lawyer. The lawyer is there to screw you over. They're secular. They believe in no God, man. They're a secular world. Whereas the Constitution answers to no other but God. Because last time I checked, Canada was a Christian country. Look, Calgary, man. There's basically the first three denominations. $550,000 they call themselves Christian. Then about 500,000 just they are secular or atheist. And then about 100,000 Calgarian that they call themselves Muslim. And the Sheikh Akbar al-Imam, nowhere to be found. Why? What law are you there for? Who put you in the office? Understand, you are doing what? Sharia. So remember that same paper that you have to get stabbed by no other than the STOOGE Imam to prove that you are married to this woman so she can sponsor you. Remember, my other brother Ammar, he had gone to Sudan. He had gone to Sudan to get married to this woman. She left in Calgary, Alberta, to fly all the way to Sudan. Some like 7,000 kilometers away, man. Plus, now she comes back. Oh, hallelujah, she got the paper of the Sheikh in Sudan. But the guy is not in Canada. How is a Sudanese Sheikh, paper is accepted? Right? It's called common law, you idiot. That's why. So she brings him here under common law. So why are you now going about the civil law case? Listen, you don't want to be with the man, great. But don't push some bullshit allegation because under common law, he is the head of the house. Right? He did not touch you, even if he did. If he did for a reason, well, common law, yeah, it's an internal affair. The government and their stooges have no business in a family unit. Right? That's internal affairs. Just like Canada, the international community has no business in the internal affairs of how Canada runs its business internally with its citizen. Well, justice is being applied. We renown ourselves with the two best judiciary system, secular and common law. But again, common law, everybody has abandoned their faith. Go to the court, man. You either swear or you affirm. Just go and affirm the truth. Doesn't matter what you believe. That's your personal belief. Natural law. You just go to natural law. Why natural law? Because again, remember, secular world, the science, the pseudoscience that we have today, right, could not be basically you could not design shit. You could not design shit. Not a car, not an air, nothing. Without understanding observing nature and coming up with laws we call physics, math, equations. So we go about and we have to respect the rule of what? Nature. So airplane can fly, not take off and land, crash. A car, you need to hit the brake, it's going to stop within a given distance, based on the speed. Again, you have to understand cause and effect. You have to understand the rule of the law and, order and hierarchies. A child law cannot break a parent law. That is the facts. That's why if you have a child, they come to you. They don't go and put the child in custody. It's a minor. The child is not going to commit a crime, unless maybe 40, 50, 60, but that's juvenile. You go to youth, and the punishment is not as severe unless you did a really bad act and you killed someone premeditated first degree murder. And that's the difference. Like when someone dies or get killed, it's either an accident, homicide, manslaughter, or first degree murder, because that is premeditated. You planned ahead to do such act, because remember, it's about the thought first. The act follows. But if you had no thought, you had clear intention, good intentions, you did nothing wrong. It's just your character. The guy, you saw his face, you saw him, like the guy is sleeping in the truck. I was talking for like 45 minutes plus. The guy is sleeping, he's knocked up because, he's, again, the side effect, the guy has no reason to go and do anything. He's on the couch, 12 hours a day, sleep, watch TV, that's it. 12 hours he sleeps, 12 hours he's on the couch. What the fuck? What kind of life is this? He went from working $7,500 a month, 6 to 7 days a week, right? Suddenly, he is now unjustly being found guilty. Why? I can appeal. You can appeal. Everybody can appeal. If you don't agree with the verdict, if you don't agree with the judgment, because you believe your right have been violated, you are innocent before the law, well, go, assert your right. Assert your right. You can raise the matter before the Superior Court, and if that fails, you can go to the Supreme Court. Again, it's a process, but again, do not give up on your life just because you do not have the knowledge. I'm sharing with you the knowledge that you need to arm yourself with and go and speak. It's simple. I wasn't born here, but I understand everything I'm talking about. I've been here for 25 years. I went to high school, university. I did aerospace, electronic system design, engineering. I worked in the industry, startup world, high tech, automotive, silicon, you name it, IoT, you name it. I'll be the guy. You would be basically the guy with the money, the entrepreneur with the idea and the money, and I would be the guy executing on your, idea from conception to mass production. That's because you are entrusting me to execute. And again, the government can only basically, enforce their laws with the executive branch of the government. It's called the executive for a reason. So you have government, right? Executive, and then you have judiciary system. So parliament dictates law, and that, you know, when laws act of parliament, they go through the motion, they get reviewed, you know, then they get basically, approved or basically reviewed and stamped to become an act. The act, you know, gets royal assent and becomes a law. Not a difficult concept to understand. The problem is this: you don't need to be a lawyer to be engaging in the law-making process. You just need to go and assert your right, natural rights, and freedom. Right? So you go and you speak up. You email your, you know, constituents, your MLAs, your MPs. Doesn't matter. You speak up. You raise the matter, because now slowly, in the name of your safety, right? For your safety, right? They are coming and slowly trampling and invading your nuclear family jurisdiction, your own body's jurisdiction. You listen, your body is a temple. The foundation is that body. You have to be breathing to be alive. So now you're breathing. Now you have to have the mind, because otherwise you're incapacitated. You cannot talk and reason and speak for yourself and decide. Right? Incapacitated means the inability to think and reason, and that's why you need someone to be your guardian, trusted guardian, whether it's your parents or some public. But that's why there's a liability. Someone is gonna have the power of attorney called POA. Power of attorney for what? Personal care or financials. You don't have to give up your financial, you know, rights to somebody else. But if you're incapacitated, guess what? You are incapacitated. You give away whatever that is. So you can have a power of attorney. I could be your power of attorney to represent you in court. I just need your consent. Power of attorney allows me to do that. It's not a difficult concept to understand. You know, there's a power of attorney for a reason, right? Like the crown is an agent of the what? The crown prosecutor is an agent of the crown. It's called the crown prosecutor. It's an agent. It's a crown attorney, basically. It's the crown attorney. So they are representing the crown, which are, again, it's just a fictitious entity. You are against the government. It's a fictitious corporation. You know, crown prosecutor come, crown prosecutor go. You must assert your right. So power of attorney, you can go on, you know, again, under national law. I can represent you. I'm your brother. I'm your friend. Whatever the case may be, I'm your trusted agent. So if I'm your trusted agent, I go, you are there in the courthouse with me, I'm your agent. I don't need to be a lawyer. That's only if you're arguing civil code. Then yeah, perhaps I need to be a lawyer. But it doesn't matter, because the civil code and the secular world does not supersede parliament. So I'm just arguing natural law. I don't need to be well versed with your criminal code. But guess what? Even that I'm well versed with, because it's just a reference book. You don't need to memorize and know everything in the, you know, sections. But all you need to know is few sections. Section 19 is the ignorance of the law. Section 6 is double jeopardy, and then section 122 is, you know, breach of trust. Section 336, again, criminal negligence. You know, there's so much you can argue. But again, natural law, they have no jurisdiction. Case closed. You have to bring the facts before public trial with jury. So a public trial with the jury is essentially this: you have people who are from the public, who are, you know, selected. They receive their jury notice, juror. So each individual, essentially, which are immune, they are public people. They are from the public. They are immune, and they come with impartial knowledge to the case. So when you go with the public trial with the jury, right, the juror. So you have a panel of jury. So you have juror, minimum 9 to 11. I don't know, but there's not just one. There are many people. So there are up to 9 judges, perhaps. And then you bring the facts. So when you go there as the accused, not only you go there as the accused, but yourself as the accused, the law that brought you in, and basically, you know, they discuss the facts and evidence and the punishment thereof. Very simple. Apply justice. I'm not against the process. I'm against injustice. So let's go. I believe my brother is innocent. So is my other brother. Okay, let's go before the court. There's nothing wrong to seek a fair and just trial. But when they don't tell you, because you're perhaps a newcomer, you don't speak English, you don't understand. Listen, man, people are born in the country, they don't understand the things I'm talking about. Not because it's rocketry. No, this is knowledge that is high school level. Like I was driving from Ottawa to Alberta. I stopped by this village, like, you know, somewhere like in the boonies, man. Like I was still in Ontario, like someone like Pascas, like way after, I forget which village. The point is this: it's like I'm going through like reserve, indigenous reserve, so to speak, right? Anyways, I'm talking to the guy, and, you know, the guy, like, he's talking to me. I had stopped there to grab something from the convenience store, right? And it's Long Lac. Now I remember, because I had sent my brother Dave, right? He's from Long Lac, and then I was in Long Lac. I figured, you know what, I'm gonna pay a visit. So I was in Long Lac, and then, you know, I'm talking to somebody, and guess what? That guy was well versed. I thought he was a lawyer. He was studying law. The guy told me he was a high school student still. I'm like, wow. So a guy in a village, Long Lac, understand more about natural rights and freedom, about his law as a civilian, versus someone who is going to school, university, and been raised to becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or some other schmuck. Remember, before you are anything, that is just a degree, credential. You're a human being. You need to breathe, live, eat, shelter, basic needs of life. That's why you are a liability to the government. When you go out and you're overseas, the government of Canada is liable, and they have the obligation towards its citizen, sovereign citizen of the land. Remember, you are a sovereign citizen. So when you are born to the system, you are just a citizen, right? I got naturalized citizen. So, but Section 92 allows you, of the BNA Act 1867, allows you to remove yourself from underneath the pyramid of the government. You are not a property of the government. Now you are on equal ground, equal footing. How else is the province of Alberta and the premier herself, Miss Daniel Smith? Yeah, she's fighting for Albertans, and you should be happy. Agree with her or don't agree with her, she understands what she's doing. Because at the end of the day, government of Canada is a central agency, a federal. They have no jurisdiction over natural resources in a province that the people of the land must utilize and use and extract for the betterment of the people on the land, not for the pockets of the the stooges like Stephen Guilbeault, right, and Justin Trudeau. Come on, where's your leader? Like, you don't know basic math, that's on you. That's why your rights and freedom are slowly being robbed. Stand up, speak. I'm not the guy with the Agenda 2030. I'm not the guy with the WEF, digital ID plans. I'm not the guy with, all the shit that's happening before your eyes. It's called slowly conditioning, social engineering to accept unlawful. Like, what is this, man? Like, you are just simply coming at the people in the name of safety and the guise of safety. What the bullshit is this? This is my body, my temple. Like I said, your body is the temple foundation. Without the body, you could be disabled. So now you're walking, great. You're not incapacitated, great. You're speaking, you're well, you're reasoning, you're speaking, you have a coherent, again, cognitive. There's a lot of things that someone can actually look at you and assess if you're incapacitated. But again, that's administrative bullshit law. So when I was in the hospital, it was just on paper. On paper, you were made incapacitated, but that means nothing. Physically, personally, naturally, I'm not incapacitated, you idiot. So I speak like this because, again, I don't like it when someone tramples on my rights and, insult me, taking me for a fool. I know more than you think. Elon Musk follows me for a reason. Not because of my hair, not because I play the guitar. No, because I speak facts. And again, science is nothing but what? There's that, scientific method. You observe, and then you come up with some empirical. You try and do test. You come your hypothesis. You come up with your, experiment. You go and test, and then you iterate until you come up with the explanation. And there's a law that has to govern this particular phenomena that you observe, like gravity. What's gravity? Force, m times a. Okay, well, what's a? Acceleration due to gravity. Or if you're in a car, that's the acceleration in the car. It's called basic physics, man. Basic physics. For each action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. That's why you have the natural right to defend yourself. When someone comes and attack you, you have the natural right to defend yourself. But you're going to assert that, and you have to basically come up with the cause and effect, and you have to come up with the chronological order. Chronological means 1, 2, 3, 4. What happened? The event, how they transpired. And that's how you basically go from aggressor to being self-defense. It's very simple, man. But first, you got to be true to yourself. If you're innocent, you're innocent. Now you go about and you argue the case. Simple. So here I am, the stooge yesterday. The guy is making commotion because I'm playing the guitar like in the middle of the parking lot. What's it to you? It's not your jamia. It's not your mosque. It's public. It's public space, man. Public space. It's not private space. All walks of life, Muslim or not, can walk into the masjid, to the mosque, and get help. But you have forgotten your duty in the first place. Why are you there? You just donate. You're not a Muslim, brother. You're a sheep Muslim. That's what you are. I don't give a shit what you think. My belief is my belief. I believe in the same book you believe. But I don't go about, being an idiot, talking about people or judging them because they have long hair. Suddenly the guy is suspicious of me that I don't speak Arabic. He presumes. He has this, again, presumption that I don't speak Arabic. And then I play the guitar. He's coming to school me on the religion of Islam, how this was a blasphemous act. But the motherfucker, he doesn't understand that, guess what? If I was playing Najwa Karam or George Rassouf, one of the singers, or I play music in my car, you're not going to come and tell me, oh, please, turn off the radio and the music. You're coming into a holy site. Go to Kaaba. Go to Mecca. They're dancing on top of the Kaaba. You're telling me you are more Muslim, you are more righteous than the rest people of the Muslim community? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. That's right. You don't know shit about Islam. First of all, la ikraha fi din. You cannot compel somebody into believing your shit. Your book is your book. My book is my book. It's the same book. What's it to you? I pray or I don't pray. What's it to you? I have long. What's it to you? Again, prejudice. You are prejudiced within your own community. That's a problem. And of course, the secular world knows this because they have divided people long ago. Long ago, a woman does not listen to her husband. He is the head of the house. Natural law. You see natural law. You see in the jungle. There's a lion. There's a dominant lion. He is the king of the jungle. He's the king of the pride. Then he's got the female lions. And guess what? The female lionesses, they have equal right, just like as the king himself. The king knows himself. He's got that big mane. He doesn't need your validation to assert his, kingdom. Yeah, try. But you'll be kicking the cat. You'll be kicking the cat because, you got the size. But the same thing, you'll be running away from a lion because last I checked, a lion is nothing but a big cat. Okay, small cat versus big cat. And your integrity, your character shows who you are when you treat animals or not, when you treat people in need or not. The government, you go to to your closest detention center, see how people are being treated. That's right. So I speak because I'm tired of this injustice where the government constantly taking you for a stooge, for a fool does not understand the law. No, they are the stooges. They are in breach of trust themselves. Well, what bullshit is this? I'm asserting my own sovereignty. Section 92 of the BNA Act 1867. I am declaring and asserting my own jurisdiction. You have no jurisdiction over me. Buzz off. So now there are liabilities when the government lies and the crown prosecutor lies and they are misleading justice. That's called prejudice, misleading justice. You can actually push, private prosecution, criminal charges against them. And they know that. That's why they don't want to give you the disclosure. Because they got the name and the badge number. But it doesn't matter. It's all public. I'm not, going after somebody, in Africa. I'm not going after somebody like, in private, Like I met this guy. His name is Osama. At the, Calgary courthouse, right? So I was upstairs. King's Bench, I believe, somewhere. So I met this guy, brother of mine. He's also Palestinian. He was in Lebanon. He tells me basically somebody has stiffed him $1,600, $53, something, $53, some shit like that. A guy, he's representing himself. He goes through the court motion. He pushes the claim. He gets his judgment by default because the guy's nowhere to be found. And then, now he wants to go get his money. He cannot get his money without getting a garnishing, so to speak, or a writ of enforcement. So he must enforce that. So now he's got that. Now he has to go about finding where that person is, what's his, work location, if he works for somebody, or his bank account, and he needs basically his home branch and his legal name so they can basically go about and garnish and enforce the court order. Because court order must be enforced. The bank is only going to basically enforce the court order. That is why we have judiciary system. It is to make sure that we can hold those people responsible, accountable. Be it the government, be it a stooge, doesn't matter. No one's above the rule of the law. That's right. But I understand, remember back in the day, King John of England, 1215, Magna Carta, the great constitution that is, the Magna Carta Liberatum or something like that, in Latin. So the great constitution of of freedom. That's what they called, Latin. So 1215, King John of England, the midst of the crusade, right? He's going about, raising the taxes unconstitutionally, confiscating the land from the peasant, robbing the land, that is. And then he's going against his own inner circle, very much like Trudeau, and he had to resign. And guess what? King John of England did not want to resign. He's the king of all kings. He's king shit. So now, basically, the nobles and the peasants, arm in arm, they go to the Pope, and then essentially they force the King of England to basically John to sign on the Magna Carta, which he later on said, well, I did not want to do it, I did not consent. Guess what, buddy? You were put in the office, you were entrusted by the people to be the king, you were elected, you were chosen by the people to be representing the people well and their interests, best interests. If you're not, you're in breach of trust. It doesn't matter what you want to sign or not. Same thing. So the Magna Carta, you don't go and argue Magna Carta, but that is basically what the modern day, democracy, world, the Commonwealth, most laws in Commonwealth, whether you're in USA, Australia, you name it, the Commonwealth, they are all derived from what? The Magna Carta. It laid the foundation for the modern day democracy. Like I said, you got the Constitution, 1982, Section 52(1), Part V, II. So basically the Supremacy Clause. Like I said, previous to that, you assert your own jurisdiction and Bob's your uncle. It's simple. Government is liable. They are corporation, maritime law. You are a natural person. Laws of the land does not. They have no jurisdiction. Laws of the sea over the laws of the land. Very simple, man. Again, logic, argument, and reasoning. I'm not incapacitated, you schmuck. A lawsuit is coming your way because, under Section 24, under Section 24 of the Constitution Act again. I will seek, right, exclusion of evidence, because those evidence were obtained unlawfully against my will, against my consent, without my consent. You know, I was in the hospital. These stooges, they, without any regard to human dignity, human rights, they stripped me naked. Why? Because I'm speaking like this. I say you have no consent. They unlawfully transferred me from under a tree and in Alfred Town all the way to Marford Hospital against my will. Against my will. I woke up the next day after the 2 jabs. I got the souvenir on my butt cheeks. 2. I got pictures. I wake up, suddenly there's this Zionist, Ukrainian, God knows what, Dr. Pedic. He's Ukrainian. Listen, I'm from Syria. Perhaps he's got something against me because Russia's attacking Ukraine last I checked, and they're helping Syria properly. So perhaps there's a conflict. Listen, buddy, I don't care what you believe. I don't give a shit did not consent to your unlawful, unjust, bogus determination. Incapacitated. So I contested that, right? I would have been released, on the, there was a 2 weeks. 2 weeks form. Initially it should be only 72 hours, but it was no other than my dad. They had to seek my dad authorization. Somebody had to consent and keep me at the hospital against my will. Who's that going to be? Not the government. So they talked to my dad, and because my dad, I'm rude to my dad, not because I'm rude to my dad. He's ignorant himself. Just because you're an engineer and you're ignorant doesn't mean shit. You're ignorant of the law yourself, Dad. That's right, I don't listen to you. Not because I don't listen to you, I'm disrespecting you. It's because you're a schmuck yourself now. You're a stooge yourself. You're implicating your son. You revoked your surety. You're unfit to be my surety in the first place. I did not care for you to be my surety. I'm an entrepreneur, CEO. I have my own business. I have my own house. What reason do I have to go on? You don't even have a house yourself to live in. Why would I go and live with my mom the first time around with my, surety, right? Why? Why go live with my mom? I mean, last time I checked, she was living in my own house from 2007 till 2022. Before she had gone, I lived, in the custody of the city housing in Ottawa. Community housing. They shoved her in this building. Man, like, drug addict, 2654 Regina Street, Ottawa. You don't need me. Go look it up. Like, all walks of life, man. Come on. Why? I don't feel safe that my daughter or myself need to go there. Now, December the 1st, I moved my mother to a better place. Alhamdulillah. I moved my mother. Like I said, I care for my mother. I've been taking care of her since I was 16. When she left the house, my father and my mother had separated. So, guess what? You have no jurisdiction. My character, my integrity, you have nothing on me. But now you're throwing allegation before the court. Defamation, prejudice, discrimination, all you name it. Why? Because I'm the genius? Because I'm a genius at large. So yeah, today I call the architects, before I call the architects, I called where my property is. So my car has been unlawfully towed by the RCMP and architects, essentially. Like I said, they had this now stooge allegation that I am medically unable to, drive. How the hell did I drive from Ottawa all the way to Calgary without any incidents, you idiot? I made a trip over 6 days. My brother, how are you? Good, good to see you, man. So, beautiful people, they come and say hello to you. Why not? I'm talking, recording myself because God forbid I speak to somebody. Oh shit, before you know it, the cops are here because I'm raising my voice. I cause no harm, you idiot. I cause no harm. I'm free to speak the way I speak. You don't like what I hear? Buzz off, walk away. This is the channel. You can leave. You can leave. You're not obliged to listen to what I'm saying. Remain ignorant. Remain a sheep yourself. Bah. So, exactly what happened. So I called the tow yard, and I have my property. Like, I pledged with the RCMP officer, like, listen, I'm here for a business. I came with my belonging, my property that I need to basically build my box. Magic box, that's right. Well, you're going to come back and pick it up yourself. So finally, now 14 days later, I, arranged for, accommodation and a way to get to the architects and pick up my items. So I called the yard, and suddenly, I need to pay up front $1,900 plus for me to go and pick up my items, my property. Because guess what? I'm not there for the car, you idiot. I'm there to pick up my property. You are now unlawfully confiscating and holding my property as a, as a ransom. You want to ransom for my property. That's called theft. So I called the RCMP and I told them, listen, this is the case. I was told that I can go and just pick up my items. I don't need the car. First of all, I would not be authorized if I don't renew my contract. And now they have me medically unfit to drive. Go figure. This is Alberta. I'm in Ontario. I did not receive such thing. I have no idea. I do not consent to such allegation. I don't give a shit about your medically unable to drive. I drove all the way here. That's on paper because, I'm suing your ass. And you have nothing on me. So I'm waiting now, basically, until the architect's RCMP gets back to me. and gets me a release order because I do want to go and pick up my items and belonging. Listen, man, I have a business to run. There's a lawsuit. There's a civil claim. Millions of dollars. Not because I'm threatening. Listen, man, when you violate, look, I'm here. I'm without a shelter. I'm without my mobile home, my shelter, my car rental. They stole. I came here on good faith, on a leap of faith. You know, I have my condo being rented. Yes, I have financial problem. Everybody has a financial problem. But that's not to say I'm a criminal. That's not to say that I don't deserve to live like a decent life, go about my business without being, you know, the subject of prejudice, discrimination, you know, defamation, and, you know, just outright racism. Just because I know what I know. Like, if Elon Musk follows me, what does that tell you? You schmuck. He's a stooge, that's fine. But I'm an engineer. I put my words where my mouth is. Let me go about proving my claim. Well, that's it, simple. I need an injunction. You know, a court order, an injunction against all the injustice and the fuckery that has been happening to me since November the 17th, 2023. Like I said, it was Quebec police first. I went to the court motion 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I'm given Superior Court of Justice on the 10th of September. I go and they're not even there, cancelled. Then I talk to the crown prosecutor. Oh, suddenly, the charges are being dropped. No shit. So now they find me in, that was on the 10th of September. But of course I wouldn't be able to go because I was in jail on the 25th. I was sworn in because Ottawa police, right, unjustly, they go about, you know, unlawfully, you know, seizure, unlawful arrest, everything. You name it. They broke every single code in the book, their own book. Breach of trust. So now I'm tasered. I'm taken to the, you know, to the cell block, incarcerated for the next 6 days. I got released on the 29th of August under my mom's surety. So I go to the courthouse on the 10th of September, Superior Court of Justice in Quebec. There's no court to be found. They're trying to cook this shit about. Listen, I was there from 9 o'clock in the morning. That was the court document that I was supposed to be there for 9 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's there to be found. Oh, I'm told, oh, come back at 2. Bullshit, come back at 2. I came back at 1:30. Suddenly the crown prosecutor is telling me that the charges are being dropped. Hallelujah. Now I go for my first court appearance in Ottawa, 17th, to pick up my disclosure for 5 otherwise criminal charges, which the crown prosecutor in Ottawa was pushing for me to remain incarcerated for 30 days. That was her, basically, you know, proposed, you know, like sentencing, so to speak. I'm going to be incarcerated for 30 days from the 25th of August. I got sworn in all the way to the 25th of September, thereby, you know, foregoing my court date on the 10th of September. And guess what? Judgment rendered against you in default, and, you know, Bob's your uncle. You're incarcerated for life. Hallelujah. Good job. You did your job well. Breach of trust. So I go to my court appearance because my mother had revoked her surety. Again, I spoke about that. I'm taken back. Why? I need to see a judge now, immediately. I'm in the courthouse. Why can't I speak to a judge? Taken to custody. Next day I got released. Same thing. My doc, you know, comes on. Then to the third time, up until the third time in December, when I was reporting illegal activities, right? I get to be taken to custody because of revoked surety. Great. I did not consent to the charges in the first place. I have yet to receive my charges, my criminal allegation. 5. Okay, where are they? So they gave me a court date on the 25th of September 2025. Why so long? Why so much? Why? Like, come on, man. I'm seeking to raise my matter before the Superior Court of Justice. It's very simple. I told you, don't waste my time. Don't waste the, you know, the judiciary time. Just, I gave them an executive order. Stay down the charges. I gave the argument. They're acting in bad faith. So essentially, you know, that's the case for me. And now I find out when I got pulled, when the police or the RCMP were called, you know, on the allegation there's a suspicious activity or suspicious vehicle on the road. Okay, great, thank you. I salute your service and your duty. I appreciate you, officer. Thank you. But then again, understand, you are now in breach of trust yourself. You are ignorant of the law yourself. Section 19 of the Criminal Code, RSC 1985, CC 46. Why? Because again, you're federal. You should know better. I did nothing wrong. I produced my passport. I have 0 criminal record. There's nothing suspicious. I told you what I'm doing. We're going to Brooks. I stop to sleep and wake up in the morning and continue my business with my brother, you know, Abdul Hamid. He was with me. We're both in the car. Yeah, there's a civil claim. No shit. So that's where we are today. And, you know, it's just like injustice, man. Like, you're squeezed by rather than the same system that is preaching human rights, indigenous rights, bullshit rights. Listen, brother. Listen. Understand what I'm trying to tell you. If you are leaving your homeland to come here in the hopes that you have a better life, guess what? You better understand what natural laws mean first. You better understand that nobody can force you to do shit. Not the government, nobody, not even God. Because even the Lord himself tells you, listen, you're free to believe what you believe. There's Jews, there's Christians, there's Hindus, there's atheists, there's Muslims. You choose. No Lord is going to force you not to believe or follow a certain book. You got this, and you got the signs. Go figure it out. If you're the schmuck monkey, you are still evolving, Perhaps, you know, your body has evolved to a human form. Like I said, you're a Darwinist, you know, monkey, you know, ape that evolved. Your body has evolved, but your mind remains that, you know, the intellect remains that of a monkey. Hallelujah to you. Ah, man, life is much simpler than you think. You don't need rocketry. But again, that's a secular world for you. Anyways, that's it. Thumbs up. I think that's enough for the day. I gotta go and see what's 50 minutes. Great. Peace.